السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. قال سبحانه وتعالى: فبما رحمة من الله لنت لهم. وقال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في حديث القدسي: إن رحمتي سبقت غضبي. وكما قاله النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم. So as we know, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has rahmah and He has His ghadab side, where the Lord is very merciful, but also He has an anger and the divine allowance to punish also. But then the question is, which side is more? So the hadith is the answer. The hadith Qudsi that we read, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala speaks about Himself that verily my mercy has overpowered my ghadab. So in other words, there's no comparison. The rahmah is so much more. So much more. And now, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam taking all the wahi from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When a person spends time in a certain company, he gets affected by company. For example, you go to a boxing gym too often, you start doing these kind of things. You start doing that randomly because you go to the gym too much, boxing gym. So your shoulders start doing weird things, your hands start doing weird things because you're in that environment. Your body's moving. You'll see people doing cricket moves when they're walking. You're like, what's he doing? You're like, oh, he's very stuck in cricket. So a company that we keep has an effect. As the Prophet spends more and more and more time in ibadah, in worship, and in close proximity with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, what that does to the Prophet is he becomes full of mercy. And then the mercy keeps growing more and more in the Prophet. And another thing is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Himself says that it was my mercy that I made you so soft and kind. The ayah that we recited, فَبِمَا, the second line there in Arabic, فَبِمَا رَحْمَةٍ مِنَ اللَّهِ لِنْتَ لَهُمْ. It was because of Allah's rahmah that you were so soft to the Sahaba. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding the Prophet that it was my mercy I made you so soft. So now let's quickly pause and start a different topic, which is it good for a leader to be rough and tough? Or is it better for a leader to be soft? Think about it. So if you're a politician, you're a team member, you're a team leader at work. So should you be rough and tough or should you be softer? If we want a nubuwwat type of a life, then you can be powerful, but you don't have to be tough, you can be soft. Because humans, there's two types of weaknesses in humans. Either sin or inability. What is actively knowing what to do, but still making a mistake. We know the right thing, we still make the mistake. What is we don't even know what to do? So if you have a team, your team members will be two types. Those who know they're doing wrong and they still keep doing wrong. Then you have team members, they don't know what to do. So both types of members, we have to be nice to them. Those who are intentionally being criminals and those who are just what they call dumb criminals. They just make mistakes because they don't know what to do. So we go to one story of the Prophet which is not related to the general message, but the first part, where you have members of your team that make mistakes but they don't know what they're doing wrong. So the Sahabi who prayed Salat really fast. There's a story. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam saw a Sahabi come into the masjid, pray salat, and then he called him and said, go make wudu, pray again, because you have not prayed. So the Sahabi went to make wudu, prayed again. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam called him and said, you haven't prayed, go pray again. He went to make wudu again, prayed again. This happened 3 times. Until the Sahabi said, O Prophet of Allah, I prayed my best, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. And then he said, you are cheating your ruku and your sajda. You're cheating your salat a little, don't do the cheating, you're rushing, and you're making the salat incomplete. So that is a situation where the team member, meaning the Sahabi, he doesn't know what to do, he's making a mistake. But there's other times where somebody knows what they're doing wrong and they still do it, and you have to be nice to them also. So to be a leader, it's good to be merciful. There might be times where you can be harsh, but mostly it's better to be soft. So now we go to all the incidents where the Prophet ﷺ mercy was so much that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had to recorrect it and say, that's too much, you don't need to do that. The first one is munafiqeen, and I wrote 2 words, the return and the graveyard. The return is the one that I talked about after Isha, where Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam allowed the munafiqeen, the hypocrites in the Muslim community in Medina Munawwara to return back to Medina, although they were supposed to be in a battlefield and pretending to be Muslims and protecting the Muslim city. But because they weren't Muslims, they were faking the whole time, so they said, no Prophet, our homes are unsafe, can we go home please? And he said, okay, go. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala afterwards beautifully spoke to him, and it's amazing how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala addresses Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It's shocking, wallahi. It says in the Quran, Afallahu anka, Allah already forgave you, lima azinta lahum. Why did you let them go? That is shocking. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling him, it's okay, we already forgave you. Why did you do this? That is shocking. Usually in any speech, we talk about the crime, the mistake first, then we say you are pardoned. In the Prophet's love and honor, to show how special the Prophet is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, oh, we forgive you, afallahu anka, Allah has pardoned you already. Lima azinta lahum. And then Allah asked him, why did you allow them to go? You should have let them stay, so you can see how fake they are. So you can see how fake they are. And you would have been able to see who the Sahaba are and who the Munafiqeen are. You would have clearly seen it. And the Sahaba would fight and protect the community, and the Munafiqeen would just hide in the back and they won't do much, because they're not here for real. So that was the first incident. The second incident is the graveyard, where Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, because of his extreme mercy, even for the Munafiqeen who were faking Islam. And by the way, in case you're thinking, why were people faking Islam? Does anybody know the reason? Why were they were non-Muslims and Kafirs. So what was the reason for the Munafiqeen? Fit into the society. And remember, taking money. There was a financial reason to fake Islam. Like how people fake the fraud in the system, in Canada, you fake stuff and you get money, same thing. Because the Muslim government had some zakat money, so the people that had fake weird spiritual problems, they would just pretend to be Muslims. Because they get free checks, free zakat or whatever, so they will come and pretend to be Muslims. And unfortunately, you might see this in Ramadan, somebody will come eat iftar and leave before Maghrib Salah. You're like, what? How do you leave before Maghrib? Or they'll come without wuzu, eat and pray Ramadan, and they go, they're like, bro, you want to have wuzu? It's okay, it's okay. I'm sleepy. I was sleeping all day. You're like, bro, you didn't make wuzu. You came for the iftar, you faked the namaz and you left. And they never come back for Tarawih. Never. They came for iftar, forget Tarawih. They never come back for Tarawih. So you're like, man, that's bad. So anyways, so now they were Munafiqeen in Medina Munawwara. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had 2 reasons to be nice to them. One was his mercy for them in hoping Allah forgives them. Number two, he wanted to be nice to them because they have real Muslim family relatives. So sometimes he would tell the Sahaba, be nice to this munafiq because he has a Muslim son. That's why when one munafiq died, his son was coming and Nabi said, be nice. His father has died, who was a fake Muslim for many years and causing us problems, but his son, don't bother him because it's going to hurt his heart. If you talk about his father in a bad way, just leave it, don't talk about it. He causes problems, but don't talk about it. So anyway, so Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam went to the graveyard and made dua for the leader of all the munafiqeen. Because the Quran says, if you make dua for them or if you don't, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala will not accept them. And another place in the Quran mentions that if you pray for them 70 times, dua, Allah will still not forgive them. Can you guess what he said after that? He said, okay, then I'll make more dua for them. The Quran said, if you make dua for them 70 times, we're not going to forgive these messed up people. He said, okay, then maybe I need to make dua 71 times. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Amazing. What kind of heart was that? Allahu Akbar. So, anyways, so these were two signs Allah gave him, the two ayats. One was, we're not going to forgive them no matter what. And the second one was, even if you make dua for them 70, we will not forgive them. He said, okay, then I'm going to keep trying. Until the third ayat said, you're not even allowed to stand at their qabr. You cannot stand there, no more. No more permission for you to stand at their qabr. That's when he had to stop and not make dua for these people that are faking Islam the whole time. So what does that show you again? His mercy was so much, he just couldn't stop making dua for people. Because he was hoping, what if I make 71 or 72 du'as? Allah might forgive them. Who knows? So he kept trying, even though they died fighting him and causing him problems in his life. So again, his mercy was too much, but Allah finally put a stop and said, no more, you can't do it. You're not allowed to go there. To that person's qabr, don't even stand there. You're not allowed. The next one is with the Sahaba. There's a cute incident around walima, wedding dinner night. So weddings are always messy. So Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam had a new nikah done. He's in his house. Some Sahaba come and they eat a nice meal, walima, wedding meal. But now they're chatting because it's nice weather or whatever. They're all sitting and they're talking. And Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam wants to go see his wife. So now he's sitting there, he's so shy, he doesn't want to tell them, can you guys go home, please? He couldn't say that, that's how shy he was. So he's just sitting there, he will get up, he'll walk, and then he'll come back, and after a few minutes he'll get up and walk back to his room, come back, but he wouldn't tell them, guys, can you go home, please? He couldn't even say that to them. That's how kind he was. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent the ayat down that Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is shy, but Allah is not shy to tell you the truth. Allah is not going to be shy to tell you the truth. Do not stay around in the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's house after the meal. Eat your meal and out. He is too shy to tell you his human needs, but Allah will tell you made a mistake. So we have a rule that if you go to dinner, to a party, to a dawah, and the main process was the food, then eat your food, have your dessert, make the host happy as long as he wants. But when you see the host face changing and he's getting sleepy because he made so much dinner for you, you get out. And sometimes people are having so much fun because they saw their friends after a few months. So the host is like, and everybody's like, keep talking, well, get some tea. And they keep drinking, nobody wants to get up and leave because it's so much fun. So if the host is tired, go home. So that's what we learned in that situation also. Nabi was too shy to tell them that you need to go home. Now at home with the ladies. This is a lengthy incident. I don't think I can go into too much detail. My 30 minutes will run out. So the incident is the last surah in 28 juz. the last surah of the 28th Sipara, Surah Tahrim, in which Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam took a qasam, took an oath that, okay, I'm not going to eat this anymore, or I'm not going to do this anymore. Whatever the incident, it was the honey eating or the marriage, he did something, one of the two things, it was halal for him. But he said, okay, if to keep you ladies happy, I'll never do this again. And he took a qasam, he took an oath, wallahi, I'm not going to do it anymore. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asked him, وَلِمَا تُحَرِّمُ مَا أَحَلَّ اللَّهُ لَكَ. O Nabi, you're trying to make your ladies happy, and you just make something haram, you make something hard for yourself. It was easy, that thing was halal for you, but because you're trying to make the ladies calmer and to be nicer, you just said, okay, I'm not going to do it anymore. But you don't have to make your life harder for them. You don't have to make your own life so hard. تَبْتَغِي مَرْضَاتَ أَزْوَاجِكَ. You're trying to make your ladies happy, but you don't have to make your life harder for them. That means the Nabi was being so soft that he was foregoing his own rights. Until Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is saying, don't do that, you don't have to make your life so hard, leave it. That was halal for you, keep it halal. Don't try to bend the rules just to make the ladies happy. You try your best, as a Nabi, that's enough. You don't have to do more than that. By the way, in case you're thinking what is the right thing to do at home, should you be fighting and always be number one? Because the rule is men are qawwamuna ala nisa, they are appointed over the woman. So many people they are confused. Should I be gentle? Should I let my lady bully me, or should I bully her? What happens? So the general hadith says, يَغْلِبْنَ الْكِرَامِ. Good men are usually bullied by or overpowered by the woman. Only vile men are so ferocious they can control the ladies. Otherwise, good guys are usually bullied at home a little bit. That's what the hadith is saying. It's okay. Let her be the boss. Let her be the boss. Because good guys are usually, they don't want to fight at home. They came from work, Baba. Because real men, you have to be powerful outside the house. You can't come home and start fighting. Bro, go work hard outside. When you come home, be a weak guy, no problem. We have the opposite problem. Guys go to work, they're all soft, they come home, they start yelling at their lady. So, we should be more softer at home. That doesn't mean everything she says you have to listen. Obviously not. Obviously not. We're not going to go into a whole long discussion with the halal and haram, what is better and all that. We can talk about it some other time. In general, take it easy. You're not going to be emasculated if you listen to a lady. Oh, one very important topic. When we walk with our ladies of our house, should we walk in the front or at the back? Big question. I know you'll get it all wrong. What's the answer, huh? Walk behind the lady. Who said back? Who told you? I told you. Usually Muslim families, we all get this wrong. We all get this wrong. We all say, no, walk in front. You only walk in front if the girl, you're not allowed to look at her. If it's your cousin or you're some other family girl that is haram for you to look at, then it's awkward if you walk behind her because you can see her body. But if it's your own daughter, your own sister, your own mom, your own wife, let them be in front. Or you can walk beside them. But if you have a whole team, you got little minions everywhere but you, then it's okay. Let the lady walk in the front, a little bitch in the middle, you're at the back and hold the smallest bitch or something like that, the smallest child. It's not bad. It's actually supposed to do that. Because how can you protect them if you can't see them? So it looks really bad, I swear. Sometimes driving home, you see a guy walking 20 meters ahead of a lady with nothing in his hands, and the Muslim lady is running with a child in her hand. It looks so disgusting. It looks bad. And you'll see, and the guy's very religious in the front. He thinks he's following the sunnah. He's walking in the front and left his wife 20 minutes back. It's crazy. So we need to understand the religion. Awkward, like a girl that you don't know, don't walk close to her. It's awkward. She might not be dressed properly. And the last one was when the Badr battle was over. which was the first battle in Islam, some of the non-Muslim guys, the leaders, or some of them, they were captives, they were prisoners of war. So now when they came back to Medina with these people, the discussion was, what do we do with these prisoners of war, POWs? So they had the option to just let them go for free, or take money, or punish them and they should die. Now it comes down to a historical context. Were they gentle to the Muslims in Makkah? The answer is no. On the last day when Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam was leaving, the last thing that happened was he had a warrant. They said, kill him, you'll get 100 camels. Is that mercy from them? No, they were very hard on Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The last thing that happened in Makkah was, if you see the Prophet, kill him, we'll give you 100 camels. You're set for life. So should the Prophet be kind to them? No. They were literally trying to kill him 2 years ago. But because he's too merciful, he said, it's okay, we'll do whatever is a more kinder thing to do. So his idea was, and Abu Bakr al-Aw's idea, and other people's idea was, the option B. Don't let them go for free, take some money and let them go. The third option was kill. Umar al-Aw said, kill. We know him. They don't kill them, they're very evil, they try to destroy. And by the way, one person, when Prophet Muhammad's daughter was leaving Makkah to come to Medina, he pushed her off the camel, she had a miscarriage. So there's so much zulm they were doing to people. So Nabi Sallallahu is kind, so he said, oh, it's okay, we'll take the money and let them go. The ayat was revealed, or hadith, it was mentioned, that if Allah was to punish all of you Muslims for this soft approach, everybody would have been killed from this mountain to this mountain, everybody except Umar. Because you're too soft. But because you did mashwara, you decided as a community, Allah forgive all of you. And accepted your decision making. Otherwise, the right answer was, they're supposed to be killed because Allah caused the problem they caused to you people. And they tried to kill your prophet and all this, you should have killed them in retaliation. So even then, Nabi Sallallahu mercy, he said, no, we're not going to give them any problem, we're going to let them go, just take some money from them. So all these situations we learned, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, Allah had so much mercy upon him and the Muslim community that he made him so soft. But sometimes Nabi Sallallahu would be reminded that your mercy is spoiling people. It's too much mercy. So that means when you become religious, you will become too soft. Then sometimes your mom or your brother will be like, come on man, you're too soft, do something. And then like, no, I'm too soft, I do too much namaz, I'm too soft. So sometimes people will tell you, bro, man up, do something. So you will hear that sometimes. But as long as you're following the sunnah, you'll be always on the softer side. You'll be very hard, but we need to keep a beautiful balance and keep our head straight. Sometimes it's better to be softer, and sometimes it's better to be harsher. And many times people will tell you, you're not a good person, you're too harsh, this against the sunnah. But we have to understand both are sunnahs. Nabi Sallallahu had times where, especially for religion, in a religious situation, if somebody was trying to do haram stuff, they say Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam's anger was so extreme that none of us can even dare talk to him when he was angry. He had the most anger amongst us. Nobody could face him because that's how much anger he had when he came to the religion. When he came to himself, getting pushed all over the place. So if you are dealing in a religious situation, you can be harsh. People will say, no, you don't know the sunnah. You're like, no, I know the sunnah. When you study the sunnah more and more and more, you realize it's not nice to be so soft when it comes to religious matters. So we'll talk about it one other time because it's a very long topic. We'll need at least 50 examples. I think it's going to be like a 2-3 hour lecture, maybe in the future one day. Maybe not even on Thursday, some other time, where we can talk about all the situations where you're allowed to be softer, kinder, forgiving, and no forgiving. They all have context and situations. May Allah give us a few to send salawat on the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. It's a Thursday night, so we can say a lot of Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and keep going. Jazakallah khairah. Questions, please ask. No, I think they were forgiven because the community decided that. But I can recheck it. I can recheck it. I think the jizya at the time, I don't know when the ayat came. There was a few ayats about jizya. I don't know when they were revealed. Yeah, I'll check it out. Yes? Okay. You want to go to sleep now? Okay, sweetheart? Okay, sweetheart, go get some rest, okay? Salam alaikum. I'm gonna miss you, okay? Opens your soul a lot. That's what I want to do. So I feel like I just feel like I'm saying you know, a lot of people go for it. But for them, come all the way. You know, it's just the right thing. A lot. But everybody wants to do something. You know, but they don't come out to really get. They don't see. They don't see something. Older brother. They don't see what this is. No. Why? They're too smart. The way you see it, you got experience on it, you got wisdom, you got understanding. Give me more how much just something different. Just normally how you speak. That's right. I haven't even seen you inside. Some people become people who work out and people who do them. Yeah, of course. A lot of these everyone doesn't have, they have the same experience, but they don't have the same ending. And I've seen them all over the place with family, friends. Yeah, like I said, as you grow and, you know, even if you're close to you, you grow apart. You don't become nice, you become because you might do the same. The people around you that you do. For whatever situation, or you went through something, and maybe it's just not the same. Yeah, the connection's not the same. You still need, you know, 20 years behind, still the same. Right? Oh, that's the worst. That's the worst. Yeah. It's kind of to listen when you just when people like that. Like I have a friend who's so behind. 10 years stuck in the same. And they complain. They complain. Yeah. They complain. Okay, they do that. Right? Well, people are talking about just going by. That's what I noticed. Like, yeah. So that's why, like, I just want to usually, like, you know, I know you don't see it, but I see it. I think other people already see it. I go to the streets all over the place. All over the fruit price last month. There, I remember I told you there was a month that used to be there. Yeah. Islam. Change the whole question around. You told me you did so much. You told me I was proud of you. Yeah. That was like, we used to look like a Chinese restaurant. Yeah, you told me. Yeah. You brought like, you can see the whole change, right? The whole environment change. We used to bring holidays like this on the weekends. Yeah, we used to bring food. We used to come. Now we can call to you, hey, I don't see you. Where are you? He was not regular. I don't know. You know what? Yeah, you see what? I taught him things too. I said, oh, I know really well. Oh, yeah. He's an eye opportunity. So on the group, like I was just there right now, and you notice the difference. Yeah, you notice the difference. Like the big difference. So you don't think the person, but it's not more of the experience. Yeah, so I just wanted to say, yeah, kind words. By the way, I realized Many people, they might see some khair, but they don't mention it. That's one thing I'm realizing. As you make it in life, people don't give you any props afterwards. They don't give you anything
It's
positive.
weird, right? Very strange.